Somewhere in space, this may all be happening right now. 20th Century Fox and George Lucas, the man who brought you American Graffiti, now bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet. Star Wars.
Here they come. Coming in too fast!
The story of a boy, a girl, and a universe. It's a big, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance. It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Hello.
No sauces, no sauces!
It's an epic of heroes.
Good luck.
And villains. And aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, 1 billion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer. Century Fox and George Lucas bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet. Star Wars.
Stop that ship! Faster! Chewie, get us out of here!
Oh my, I'd forgotten how much I hate space travel.
Here they come. They're coming in too fast!
The story of a boy, a girl, and a universe.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
It's a big, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Come with you to Alderaan. There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time. It's an epic of heroes.
Good luck. Hit the accelerator. Yahoo!
And villains. And aliens from 1,000 worlds.
Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
Star Wars, 1 billion years in the making.
The Force will be with you, always.
Now, you can experience the Force again. Star Wars.
Here they come. Coming in too fast!
The original, legendary Star Wars is back. The most popular film of all time, Star Wars. Coming back to your galaxy for 2 weeks only. Star Wars, the Force will be with you, starting Friday, April 10th.
The Star Wars series started out as a movie that ended up being so big that I took each act and cut it into its own movie. But in order to create that movie, I had to create a backstory. And there's this very elaborate backstory that was created in order to get to the point of the first part of Star Wars, the first film. And it's that backstory that hasn't been told yet. This story, the one that we've seen, pays off in a much larger way because it's the you get a sense it's the son vindicating the father, but we are doing this in a context that we don't know where the father came from or what made him be what he is or what needs to be vindicated. So we're just seeing the sort of vindication without, you know, the act being seen, and so it's very interesting, and we don't really understand, I think, clearly what the conflict is at this point. The original concept really related to a father and a son and twins. I mean, a son and a daughter. And it was that relationship that was the core of the story. It went through a lot of machinations before I even got to the first draft screenplay. You know, various characters changed shapes and sizes, it isn't really until it evolved into what is close to what Star Wars now is that then I began to go back and deal with the stories that evolved to get us to that point, and that, you know, it's hard to say really where the, you know, how it evolves into a piece, because it, you know, you evolve it with various scenes and various moments, and when you're creating something like that, the story itself takes over and the characters take over and they begin to tell the story apart from what you're doing, you know, and you kind of go with it, and you have to go with it, and it sends you down some very funny paths. Then you have to figure out how to break that apart and put the puzzle back together so it makes sense and is cohesive. But that's the adventure of writing, is the fact that you're not sure where it's going to go. And I think it took a while. I mean, I worked on Star Wars for a couple of years before it evolved into what it is.